Well, that was a blessing in a few ways. Anyway, day 50, meditation. This will work out better this way, and this being a separate video. What a funny ending to my last live. But what I want to talk about is the future of this community and what we're going to do. Hi, everybody. With you guys, I did. That's going to mess everybody up. Kids eating. Okay. So, I plan on continuing to do the lives every week for everyone that's staying in the community. And I plan on doing a video every week on a new topic, and we can vote on that topic. So lives every week will be like a Q&A session, group coaching session. But the different video every week, I have so many videos, and I think the most recent one was about trust. So maybe I'll edit and write and put together a really nice video on trust, and that's going to have a lot to do with trusting yourself through, or trusting others through trusting yourself. But anyway, meditation. I have a lot to talk about with meditation, and I'm not an expert in any way at all. But I have practiced meditation pretty religiously for, I would say, 4 years maybe. And I'm going to give some basics, and then we're going to do a meditation in this video. So essentially, they say that there's no wrong way to do a meditation, but there are plenty of wrong ways to do meditation. A lot of people say there's no wrong way to meditate. The only thing that you can do wrong in meditation, and where they get that saying from, is that if you're trying a lot and you're not getting somewhere and you're beating yourself up. It's all the same basics that I teach you guys. Is don't feel guilty, don't get angry with yourself, be very patient, be very kind to yourself. And if all you do when you meditate is you sit there and your mind races for 20 minutes, you sat still and your mind raced for 20 minutes. If you fidgeted and your mind raced for 20 minutes, you just love yourself and know that it's okay. That calming your mind down, getting even a blip of silence up here takes a lot of work. I can only do seconds at a time before I'm thinking about something else or falling into something else. So this is one that if you really want to meditate, they're the pearls that I'm rapid fire giving you want to take some notes on. One of the things that you'll notice is if you watch a lot of TV, if you listen to a lot of music, if you're stimulating yourself with games and lots of conversations, or on Facebook a lot, you're going to feel that noise and that chatter. You're going to hear it when you meditate. But if you get yourself out to nothing, go out to the woods for a couple of days at a time and then try to meditate, you'll be a lot more silent. Your mind is just this filter for your entire reality, and it gets clogged up. It gets jammed up with a bunch of junk that builds up over time. So it's kind of good to do a detox of information, stimulation, all that kind of stuff. What else can I tell you? You can do guided meditations, and I implore you to do guided meditations if you're not really comfortable with meditating yet, or you don't really know what to do, because there's a lot of them out there. But when you do a guided meditation, you're giving that source your power and your attention, and you won't get nearly as much benefit out of a guided meditation as you will if you just try to do it yourself. But you can get really good ideas from these things to heal your body, to feel more confident or more loving, or whatever it might be. So some guided meditations that I like the Headspace app. That's a good one. It really helps you feel good about your body and being in your body, but it also kind of can give you this out-of-body experience that I've had a few times using the Headspace app. Anything that is like a loving kindness, or loving kindness meditation is really good, or like heart-centered, heart chakra meditations. These are really, really good, and I think useful for people in this group. And affirmations are really good. So a lot of people like to listen to positive affirmations, and they do it when they sleep. But I want to tell you that if you're listening to this stuff, especially while you're sleeping, you're giving other things your power, and you're always needing this stimulation, this information. It's a need, and the more you need these things, the harder it's going to be to just be still, be silent, be peaceful. So my advice to you guys, if you haven't meditated or if you're just starting, is just to do pause breaths, is to focus on your pause breaths as much as you possibly can, and keep coming back to them again and again and again, and set a goal. Say you want to meditate, you really want to be able to meditate at least 20 minutes a day. So maybe you start with 2 minutes or 1 minute or 30 seconds, and you just try to one-up that every day. Another 10 seconds, another 1 minute, another 2 minutes, whatever it is. And you'll grow pretty quickly. Within a month or two, you can go from meditating for a minute to meditating for 20. I certainly did. Another really good important thing you should do is set an intention before you meditate. It's kind of like, you can look at this with everything, right? If you're going to go out and you're going to, go to the grocery store, you're going to intend to have a good time at the grocery store. You're going to intend to find, a good deal or something like that. You have an intention, but when you set an intention and you affirm that out loud before you dive into something like meditating, it can be very, very powerful. So set an intention like, I intend to have, to enjoy this, to be peaceful. Don't say I intend to become enlightened from this one meditation or anything like that. And as I said, you can do this everywhere you go. Meditation is much, much more powerful when you do it everywhere that you go. When you're meditating in the car, when you're meditating while you're at the grocery store, or while you're having a conversation with somebody. And what that looks like is just being very present, being present with your breath, being present, knowing your patterns and how your mind chatters, and being above that or separate from that is meditation. Meditation is a way of life. It is a tool, and it is a practice, and it is useful, but it is not just for this time in the morning or this time in the evening. It is a way. So the meditations that I typically do, it just kind of varies on like what I'm looking for. But most of the time I'm trying to get silent, because when you get really, really quiet, God speaks to the silent mind. And I've heard things, my intuition, my higher self, God, whatever we want to call it, has spoken to me on occasions, and not as often as I'd like, but it's always when I'm really, really quiet. And you don't have to climb a mountain and feel like you're going to die for 7 hours in order to hear this voice. You just have to get out of your head. You have to get out of your patterns, and you just have to listen. And to listen, you got to quiet the mind. And to quiet the mind, you have to focus. And to focus, you have to practice focus a lot, but you just have to focus on your breath. Just focus on your breath, focus on your breath. But you want to get eventually to this place where you don't have to focus on your breath, where you can just be aware of it. So the difference is, when you're focusing on your breath, you're breathing. You are breathing. But when you're just aware of your breath, your body is breathing, which it does all by itself. In fact, 99% of the breaths that I've taken in this video and in the last video were not intentional. I didn't do them on purpose. They were done through me or to me. My body knows what it's doing. Your body does it all night long. Does it constantly until you start thinking about your breathing. As I mentioned in the pause breath video, breathing is funny like that. It's something you don't have to think about until you do, and then you have to. So you want to eventually get to a place where you're just allowing your body to breathe. And to get there, your body will breathe incredibly slowly. It'll take, 10-second inhales, 10-second exhales. You'll realize that the air falls into your lungs and it falls out of your lungs. And when you start to get to that place, you'll realize that you are just a part of the whole, that you are the whole, that it is all just one system working together. Not your body, but your body and the environment are just one system. Freud called this an oceanic view. And infants are said to have this view of reality where when they touch things, they're not just being stimulated by the thing that they touch, but they're experiencing the stimulation through that thing. So it's like when a baby picks up a spoon, it feels the spoon as it feels its hand on the spoon. And it doesn't say, this is me, this is the spoon. It's like, this is me too, and this is me, and this is me. And that is the reality of it. You know, we're a tube in a lot of ways. Our digestive tract is literally like a worm. It's actually outside of the body. It's a tube that has an opening on both ends, and our spiritual beings are like that as well. We're an open channel when we're happy and we're at peace and we're allowing, and we're closed when we're tense and we're angry and we're fearful. Anyway, so I like to focus on my pause breaths to start. I usually warm the engine up by taking a few rapid pause breaths, and then I slow it down, and then I just sit peacefully and I breathe. And when my mind trails off, I notice it, and I slowly and softly, calmly go right back to my breathing. And if you want to, you can use this as a visualization technique too. You know, if you want to picture yourself really happy, really peaceful, if you want to picture yourself doing good things for other people, if you want to manifest and imagine yourself with, you know, a new house or lots of money or better health or whatever it might be, you can do that as well. But the goal here is to be really consistent and to be very gentle on yourself while you're doing this. So let's see where we're at here. Does it even tell me? No, it doesn't. Without further ado, I'm gonna sit here and meditate with you guys. Now I've been breaking up little sticks here. Wonder if I can make like a little kickstand for my phone. Dun, 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 dun. Ground is dense. What else was I saying? There's also actually another really good one too that I can teach you. If you're feeling really, really tense, this one's important. Feeling really, really tense, what you want to do is on your inhale, squeeze something, either your whole body or work your way up from your feet, and then to your calves, and then to your hips and your butt, and then your and then your your abs and your chest and back, and then your face. You work your way up. On the inhale, you squeeze, and then on the exhale, you release. And that really, really helps a lot with tension. But without further ado, I think that this will work. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Another thing too. You can do this laying down, but if you meditate laying down, you might fall asleep. And it's not a terrible thing to fall asleep meditating, but you're not doing the practice that you want to do. You do want to have your back straight, and I usually go against something until I start working out more regularly. My lower back isn't as strong as I'd like it to be, so usually after a few minutes it gets kind of tired and I start paying attention to that instead of my breathing. But you want to have your back against something, but you don't want to lean your head against it. Just your upper back. And make sure you're arching your back, you're sitting up straight. You can do cross-legged. If you do a lot of yoga, you can do your lotus position, or do a half lotus, if they even call it that, but you can do like one leg up over top. And that's usually something that I'll do. I'll do either cross-legged, or if I'm not wearing jeans, I'll throw one leg over my knee. Posture's important, chin up, shoulders back, because that is inviting and it's telling your body that everything is okay. You want your palms up. It's just basic pause breath 101. The big thing about pause breathing was that I was trying to do miniature meditations, because it's really hard for people to sit still for 20 minutes when they're suffering from anxiety. And it's not as helpful. You can meditate for 20 minutes a day, and that will help your life. You will see improvements. But what's more helpful, what I have found, is doing a ton of miniature meditations throughout the day. Throwing pine cones at flies. Get them out of here. Which is what you do every time you stop and do your 6 or 10 pause breaths or whatever it is. So I'm just going to meditate, and this video can be a good excuse for you to sit down and meditate for a couple of minutes, and we'll see how long it actually goes. Although I wonder if I can just time it for like 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe we can do that. Yeah, we can. All right, 10 minutes it is. So remember, as thoughts come into your head, it's okay. Be gentle. Don't care about what the thought actually is. Don't label it as good or bad. If they're ideas, if they're for productivity, let them go. They'll come back to you. And you just say that. I'll think of this later. Right now, I'm just going to meditate. If it's something terrible, something good, don't worry about it. Don't label it. Don't pay attention to it. Try not to feel it. Try not to fall into it. The moment that you notice you're thinking, just go back to your breathing. All right? When you hear sounds, if you got the kids in the background, if you have noisy neighbors, if you have a funny sounding house, if you're out in nature and you hear tons of birds or a lawnmower or whatever it might be, try not to tell a story about those things. This is labeling, this is judgment. Try not to understand what those things are. Just come back to your breath. Let everything become white noise. That's good. Let everything become white noise. Remember, having a mantra is not a bad thing. If you want to think about something good for yourself, I am safe, I am loved, I am protected, you can say those things. I think another thing that Kale gets guilty about pretty often is that I get to a state where I'm like, ooh, I feel pretty good. And then I walk away from it. And I want you guys to think about that if you're actually still watching this. And think, do I want to just feel pretty good? Or do I really, really want to master some happiness? So if you're feeling good, great. If you're not, that's okay. Keep going. But if you're feeling good, keep going too. How much better can you feel? Releasing tension on every exhale. get frustrated. Don't put any expectations into it. Just know that you're doing something good for your body and your mind. Just keep coming back to truth. I love myself. I am well. I'm going to focus on my breathing. Count my breaths. It's okay to react to my pause breathing, or just letting it be. And I start pause breathing, but I can let it be because my mind can get pretty peaceful. But when I realize that my mind isn't being peaceful, it's thinking about things or daydreaming about nonsense, I go back to pause breathing. So if I can help you guys with any of this or more, let me know. I love you. And I'm probably going to check in with everybody today that's part of this original group on May 24th, 2019. Be well.